Greetings. Welcome to Speak Nerd and Enter.
All right, welcome. On that note, welcome to Speak Nerd and Enter. We, of course, have Mark. Sean, that's me. Rich on the other side. And, of course, fresh from his mission to 1991, to teach that punk Ken a lesson he would not soon forget, where he was said to remark, "Tiger, tiger, tiger uppercut." Master and founder of Sparkle Motion, don't doubt his commitment. And the show enough of Bangkok, the K-Man.
The show enough of Bangkok.
Sparkle Motion is a deep cut. That Donnie Darko cut, it's deep.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Very well done.
I thought both of them were nice cuts there, but
Yeah,
They were.
sorry.
They were.
Yeah, I'm
The
glad that
Sparkle
last
Motion-
bit got Mark there. That was good.
Well, show enough of Bangkok. I mean, any Last Dragon reference.
You got to be one bad mofo to be the show enough of Bangkok. I mean,
Well, according to my story, he was actually Sagat, so that would have done it.
yeah.
I hope our audience respects all the connections that we make here on our nerdery.
My wife doesn't. She doesn't get them. She's the only one that listens to this.
I'm very glad that's the case.
Our fan.
It brings me great joy to think of her sitting there in silence, waiting
Like,
for
huh?
that, waiting for
I
that
don't
whole thing to
understand.
be over with.
Yeah.
What the hell?
You want to use the internet to look for this. This is dumb.
No, my buddy Mike listens to it too.
Excellent.
Probably on the train on the way to work from Fredericksburg up to DC or whatever. So
So I wanted to start off by saying to you guys, I'm moving to San Francisco.
what?
Wonder where that
I
idea
need your
came
help
from.
moving.
Don't try to take a shower.
Yeah. Now I tried to watch the new season of Halo.
Oh,
No, that's your mistake.
No, I did.
And-
I'm 3 or 4 episodes in, or 5, or
You
whatever. How
made
many
it
of
that far?
I did. It's awful. You
I
should have heard the running commentary as I was watching. I mean, to be fair, I'm not sitting there on the couch with doing nothing but watching the show. I'm
Yeah.
sitting like here at my computer. There's a television kind of up and to my left that I can put something on while I'm doing other things. So like I'm just like, oh, I got to put something on while I'm doing other stuff. And
this
so I
programming.
put Halo on, and oh my god, is it boring? It is
This
so
programming is not worthy of my full attention. That's
And
a
I
real
thought
mark.
it was going to be better because of the, I saw some reviews saying it was better, it was more action, all this. And dude, the first episode, they got him to go into somebody's barbecue. I was like, what the hell, man?
That's exactly what a Spartan would do.
Master
Yeah.
Chief sitting in somebody's backyard, eating barbecue, talking to them. I got so pissed off. I was trying. I really was trying. And I told Helena, I said, what the hell, man?
So you could tell me if so. This is the same thing that infected comic books, especially when you had a lot of feminist progressive writers start to come in, and they always have all the characters. Doesn't matter who the characters are. It could be Darkseid. Darkseid goes for coffee, eats, and has a deep conversation. Every time you'll have 5 or 6 pages of someone in a coffee shop having a conversation about their sexuality to another superhero, supervillain. It's always something of that ilk.
Well,
And
their conversation, I'll be honest, their conversation was something to do with, I don't even care. It had something to do with the plot line and all that. And, they had women in the Halo series and the games. They had plenty of women Spartans and all that.
Yeah.
They had some women writers and all that stuff.
It's crappy writing.
I don't get why they felt it so necessary. Even if you don't know the series, don't know the material and all that, how much does it take to be told Master Chief is kind of stoic, stays to himself really, and is Never takes the helmet off. How much does it really take to do that? And perhaps maybe somebody who would sit there and say, as a content, I don't know, overseer, director, or whatever, guardian of some type, he doesn't dig in backyards. He doesn't do that for scrapbooks. He doesn't go to people's barbecues. It's
Yeah.
really not a
No.
massive list of stuff that you would have to give them as notes, but those are big ones.
And I wouldn't put this on somebody who would be labeled as a feminist progressive or something. This is something that I would. This is kind of like what Disney did with Star Wars and everything else. This is more that kind of setting. It gets difficult. You have an actor who doesn't want to wear a helmet because if they wear a helmet, how do you ever see the face, right? So there's an actor's issue right there.
Yeah, tell it to Carl Urban.
And then you have the
yeah,
that's fair.
yeah,
And then you have a storyline, Sean. What you just said, he's a stoic character. I mean, if you've played the game, you get the sense of who Master Chief is. He's not a one-dimensional character, but
right.
you have to let it develop on its own. Over time.
See, that's the beauty of it, and that's the thing. You get it, Kelly. Right there is that the thing that makes it so powerful about him is that when he does have emotional moments, like when he told them when they wanted to take Cortana and retire her or whatever the hell they called it in the game, and he said no. That was such an important moment because he had been so stoic all that time. It built up to this point that when he does have those moments of emotion, if you will, or complexity, it resonates so much more because of that.
I mean, as a Master Chief, he's like anybody who's been through that kind of thing, like Master Chief, you've played the games, right? Then yeah, he's not getting overly connected to anybody. It took time for that relationship with Cortana to become one that he trusted and followed. And when we get into the later games, there's certainly some getting into his past, his history, and what all of that was about. But yeah, look, if they just told the story from sort of expanding on the storyline of the game, great. But they didn't.
Right. Here's my take on what they're doing. Okay, I don't think this is some grand plot to change Master Chief or anything. This comes down to budget, right? You landed the Halo franchise, and they're like, awesome, we're going to print all kinds of money, printing Halo stuff, making this Halo content, but it's expensive. You know what's not expensive? Putting him in a backyard barbecue, having a cup of coffee, talking. Like, two people in a room talking is easy to film, and I'm watching the show going, okay, this is supposed to be on a space station, but it's just a room that two people are talking in. And first of all, I don't care about that ex-Spartan guy at all who gets captured and like his family's like trying to run away from the space pirates. Like all that stuff is just so ancillary that none of us care about it, right? Same thing with that little girl from the first season. She's in it a little bit. But it strikes me it's more budget related than anything else because in the opening of season 1, Rich, you're shaking your head but you haven't even seen it. So I'd appreciate it if you let me finish my point before you get all screw-faced about it.
I didn't say anything yet.
That opening scene when they're up in the mist, like that was a really cool scene. And we want the whole series to be like that. But then it's, there's 5 minutes of that and there's 50 minutes of sitting around at barbecues and sitting around in the training area and people in rooms talking. Right, it's 95% talking.
Having relationships with people who didn't exist in the entire series.
Right.
And,
the other thing they want us to do is they want us to care about Reach. Right. They're like, oh, my family's from Reach. Everybody's on Reach. Like we all know what happens to Reach.
Yeah.
Right. They're setting it up like it's some big thing that oh my God, I care about Reach so much. Like it's a ham-fisted attempt to get us to care about this place that we all know is going to get glassed.
Yeah, it's like it's like they think the people who are watching the show have never played the game. No one who never played the game is watching the show. That you're not watching Halo because you didn't play the game. You're not like, that looks interesting. Let me watch that. If you weren't playing Halo, you're not going to be intrigued by the show.
All you've done is upset everybody that did play the game. Right.
Yeah, you're pissing them off because they know, like you said, they know what happened to Reach. That was a motivation and a kind of a...
Literally the next thing on like Amazon Prime, you're flipping it. It's like, watch Halo: The Fall of Reach, and I'm like, oh, maybe I'll watch this movie. I mean, I'm seeing them right next to each other. We know what happens to Reach.
I think it's a fair point, Mark. I really do. I think the budget thing is very fair because in order to do Halo the way Halo, if you're going to recreate scenes from the game, the amount of CGI that would have to go in to make that happen would not be cheap by any stretch.
Yeah.
So
I agree, but I don't know what,
can I
don't do Halo then. Go ahead, Rich.
Can I now release what I have pent up inside me that you've made me?
I'm afraid of this.
So I want you all to reach down really deep, grab your nuts, and pull them up, okay? And grab them tight, okay? Because you are cutting slack to this show that it's undeserved. Now, Mark, in my defense, I actually did watch 10 minutes of an episode, and that was enough. Okay, so I stopped and I was like, oh, well, Halo guys talk about this. Let me watch 10 minutes of it. Too much. I was done. So what I'm seeing here, and the second point that I want to make to this is that shows like Starship Gear series, Battletech the series exist. Hold on. Okay, yeah, I got irritated and it cut out my mic.
Yes.
So shows like Starship Troopers the series, Heavy Gear the series, Battletech the series exist, and they're crappy and they have terrible CGI, but they still tell stories of warfare and battle and struggle and drama and heroism. This show is just taking that Halo universe and they don't want to tell the story at all. They just want to tell whatever these writers stink. The problem isn't that there's no money. The problem is that the writers don't know how to write a story.
Concise. Yeah, concise and well put. I think for me, the thing that I feel when I'm watching it reminds me very much of Ang Lee when he was doing the Hulk and him saying that he's trying to make fine cuisine out of American fast food, and it feels like you're condescending to me and that I'm somehow too stupid to realize what good storytelling would be. It's just, I don't know. Maybe they're not thinking that way. Maybe they're thinking all wonderful things and that they're really trying hard and all that, but it's not working with this. You should have done it. One guy I saw did a review said, it would have been fine maybe as a new property, a new IP that someone had done for a show separate from this, but as a Halo show, it ain't cutting it, and that's kind of how I feel. I feel like, okay, mildly okay as a, show that had nothing to do with Halo, but as a Halo show, it sucks.
I mean, it feels like an entire season is going to have a collective 10 minutes of cool footage.
Yeah.
When we 3 minutes per episode.
Yeah.
We used to play Halo and we used to have all those great times. We were driving around in Warthogs and bananas. The best part of that was the cutscenes that explain the story. That was my favorite. And that's exactly what that show is. It's the cuts. No, that's the cut. I'm saying I'm being facetious, but that's that. Oh. The show is the cutscenes. That's all it is. It's not the action. It's not the game. It's that cutscenes that you got in between.
My favorite was where Mark was killed by Guilty Spark.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That was the best. I will never forget that. And I will never. It meant so much to me. I remember exactly where it was and where it was on the map and where it was in the game when that happened.
Yeah, I can see it now. Just turning around and Guilty Spark tearing Mark down. That was awesome.
Stop that! Stop
it! No.
Oh my God!
We had so much fun with that game, and the fun part were the epic stories that we told with our ridiculous actions. It's not hard. I think you're right. I don't think they hired anybody who ever played the game.
I don't.
It doesn't seem like it. So,
I don't think so.
But
and if you land the intellectual property of you got Halo, you can do something in Halo, but your budget is this, right? You don't have the budget to do what you want with Halo. Great, then don't do Halo. Do ODST. Right now, it's Now it's a little more. It's humans in suits with rifles,
Yep.
and
Right.
you can tell a war story. You can tell,
Yeah.
you know, the survivor story. You can tell that chick story who the Master Chief saved. You can do some things where maybe they run into some Spartans, and it's a special thing. Like you're still playing in the universe. Now you can adjust your budget and give fans what they want
Yeah.
instead of this crap that you're giving us.
Yeah.
You gotta, I
Exactly.
mean, guys in fancy helmets. That's where your special effects budget went. Oh, this guy's got a helmet with camouflage on it, right?
This is what happens when somebody looks at something and they think, this was just a run around and shoot 'em up game and was devoid of any sort of emotional content. When people were designing and writing Halo, when they were putting out games at that period, there was a big push in the video game industry to say, hey, we want to create an immersive environment where people are emotionally connected to the storyline. It's already there. These weren't like, goofballs who had never written anything before that put together Halo. It was an immersive environment. Less is more, ladies and gentlemen. That's just what I would like to say to that.
No, you're right. You're right. Like ODST, as a matter of fact, is a great example of that, where it's just individual stories, little vignettes about each of the survivors from this crash and going through and trying to make it out of the city and, all that. And that was a great game. So was Reach. So, all that stuff that Bungie put out was really, really good. Really enjoyed all of that.
They put it in because there was the point in the game where they get into Master Chief's backstory a bit, right? But that occurred later. Right?
Yeah.
People coming into Halo already care about the character. Just tell the story. You don't have don't start from the middle.
The mystery of the character was part of the story. He was a mystery. That was what was, why do you have to spoil that? Oh, we're going to show ass in his face. I mean, come on.
I will say this too, and then we'll move on to something else. The promotional videos, the promotional movies they had, those were, remember the little, the miniature, they had the museum with the curator talking about the battles and stuff, and they had the miniatures set up for the big battle against the Covenant on Reach and all that. So that was, and then they went to the live action part of it and all that. The dude who had the scar on his face, and they showed you how he got the scar on his face, and they had to bury the guy in his team, and that was great. I remember watching that and showing Helena, and Helena being, amazed at how compelling that was. Just as a little, what was it, like 2 minutes or something like that? 2-minute little story or
little intro.
So well done. And that was live action. That was far better than anything they're doing on this show, So anyway, all
they
right.
blew the writing budget on that little 2 minutes just to loop you in, and that was it.
Humanity sucks. We can't do anything good for any amount of time.
Who would win in a fight, Master Chief versus a run-of-the-mill, fresh out of the vat Space Marine?
We had, when Mark Drew and I talked about this, and we came to the conclusion, each of us, that a Space Marine would take a Spartan in no time. And I know there's a big, was a big debate about this online, who would win between the Spartans and all that.
Yeah.
Here's my thinking on it. Okay. Here's my reasoning. Either it exists in the same universe or it does not, right? So if it exists in the same universe, then the Spartan program, because it was so far back in time from 40K, but future for us, would have been a program that the Emperor started at some point in his efforts to try to make Space Marines. And so that would have been like his first foray into it before he made the Thunder Warriors and all that. So would have been outclassed by the Space Marines because they would have been a way, way early attempt at that sort of thing. If it's a separate universe altogether, okay. Well, the first Spartans were nothing more than kind of enhanced regular humans. Not really bigger, nothing like that, just given a few operations to make them a little bit better. The sergeant, forget his name, the one who died in Halo 3, I think it was, the dude who had been in all 3 of those games with the cigar, like the sergeant out of Aliens.
Carl Weathers' character.
Right. He was a Spartan 1. So Spartan 2 was the big ones. Those were the ones who they put all the time into and all of that. That was Master Chief and all that stuff. Okay, so that was the big deal. Then after that, they needed them faster, and so they went the Soviet route and started making them quicker and less expensive and less durable and all that. So the Spartan 2 was the big one. That was the, penultimate Spartan. So if you think about it that way, okay, the penultimate part of the program for the Space Marine program was either the Custodes or the Primarchs, depending on how you look at it. Either of those is mopping the floor with any number of Space Marines, any number of them, So that either way, if it's in the same universe or not in the same universe, they're still the lesser. Doesn't mean they're not cool. Doesn't mean they're not awesome. I love the Spartans, love the games and all that. But yeah, Marine is just...
Would you change your opinion after the Spartan removes the emotional suppression capsule?
Oh, yeah. Then it's a toss up. It's a real toss up there.
My feelings.
Oh, I want to kill this Space Marine, but I don't know if I should.
Emotion suppression capsule.
Let's go have coffee and talk about it.
Yeah.
For an hour.
Oh yeah, and that's
Why'd you
the
have to
thing.
bring
The other
that
one
up?
runs off
Why'd you have to bring that up? I had
have
forgotten
barbecue
all
with
about
or have coffee with the blind the blind, I don't know, personal trainer or whatever he is. Oh yeah, I forgot. Oh, that was best forgotten. We
that
should
show
move on
hurts me.
It does. It hurts.
It hurts me,
It's
man.
so bad.
I'd waited so long for something like that. Anyway, whatever.
The best
All
thing
right.
about that show is the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Hearing
Yeah.
the Gregorian monks chant that
Yeah.
that Halo intro.
That
the
game had
best,
some of the
and
best music. I swear to God, that was
I had the
phenomenal.
soundtrack. Like,
Didn't
I
you
listened
go-
to it in my car.
Mark,
You
didn't
can
you go
hear
with
that
us-
and instantly you know where you are.
Didn't you go with us to the Kennedy Center to hear that in concert? Yeah, that was
video game
awesome.
music concert.
Yeah, and they were playing the scenes from the game as they were playing the music and all. You can't tell me there was no emotion in that game, because that music, watching the videos and all, brought up all kinds of stuff. Oh my God, that not just the sentiment for the moments with your friends, but also for the game itself.
Yeah.
It was really powerful. Anyway, now the other thing on that I heard they're doing is they swapped release dates for, what was it? They pushed something out till next year, and they moved the remake of The Crow up. So the remake of The Crow is, they moved the release of the remake of The Crow.
Why are we doing this?
Why are we remaking it?
Yeah. No, why are we talking about it?
No, I mean, well, the first question, really, I don't mind talking about it, but the first, I mean, I'm so over the remakes.
You know, I don't know if you read the graphic novel. I read the graphic novel, and the movie with Brandon Lee. Brandon Lee was great. He was great in that role. He was a great actor for that. I thought he was wonderful. The movie was not. The movie itself was far less than the graphic novel was. The graphic novel was dark. It was dark and brutal and had a vicious ending and all kinds of stuff in there that I'm hoping, I don't think they will, but I'm hoping they at least put some of that into the remake. And with who's doing the part of Brandon Lee? It's Skarsgård. What's his name?
Yeah,
from Tom Holland.
I would say it was an It.
Tom Holland. That would be great. Yeah, Tom Holland and Zendaya.
Right? The guy that played Pennywise.
Yeah. Tom Holland and Zendaya in there would be awesome. Yeah.
Feels like it'd be a Dune derivative.
I wish I had prepared some sort of Tom Holland impression. I can't pull anything up, but yeah, that move. Yeah.
Always links back.
Yeah, the book was one of my favorites. The graphic novel was one of my favorites. The art was not great in there. There's a lot of stuff on, because it was an amateur effort. This guy just showed it to somebody at a comics convention. I forget, it was Caliber Press or something like that.
It was Caliber.
Yeah, he showed it to somebody there from, I think, Caliber, and they liked it enough that they went ahead and published it, because he was writing something to try to get through the death of his girlfriend. She was killed by a drunk driver. And so he was trying to do something to kind of exercise that from himself there. So he wrote this amateur comic, and it ended up getting published. And so I thought the original storyline was great, and I'm hoping that they put something like that into this new one, because the movie itself, I thought the whole thing about the crow being the source of his power and we're going to capture the crow and all, it was very Silver Surfer like, with the movie, the Silver Surfer, where his power comes from the board and all that is just dumb. So, I mean, in the book, the crow, you couldn't see him. Nobody else could see the crow. Only he could. And it was sitting there giving him advice and chiding him at the same time for his failures and all that. It was a really cool dynamic. And anyway, I'm hoping that it's more like the original. But I was wondering if anybody else, I didn't know if any of you guys knew about it or had been.
I didn't know about it.
Didn't know.
Yeah, I do.
So,
I do. Yeah, it's definitely not even the first movie was, with the villain, it was actually pretty grim. But yeah, the story of the crow himself, it was a dark and tragic.
Yeah, it was way darker than the graphic novel.
It was, but the movie was pretty dark. But
Can't hear you.
What'd you say?
I couldn't hear you there, brother.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, the graphic novel, you could definitely tell the guy was going through a really emotional time when he was writing it. And like you said, it was a purgation. But the film, yeah, I don't know if you'd seen any of the sequels to the Crow movie. Have you seen any of those?
No.
Yeah, they were okay. They weren't great, but some of the portions of the graphic novel were incorporated later on in the other movies. Just bits and pieces, but it wasn't. You're right about that. The first film and the graphic novel, they kind of diverge very quick.
Yeah, you could tell that Hollywood wanted the theme, but did not want the true grit of what the book was. So yeah, that bummed me out. But anyway, I'm looking forward to that, hoping that it's, or at least the synopsis, hearing if it's going to be closer to what the graphic novel was. And I'm hoping it is. So, the other thing I wanted to mention, and I thought this was a stroke of brilliance, of course, is there's no way I can argue with this. There's no joke I can make about it. It was pure genius, infallible decision making. Walken is the emperor.
Yes. Shaddam the Fourth. Yes.
House Atreides will.
What we're going to do here is a bit more spice and some cowbell.
I got a fever, and the only remedy, more spice.
The spice belongs.
I think Christopher Walken makes everything better.
He makes everything better.
Yeah, he's like bacon.
He's a treasure.
Paul Atreides is Muad'Dib. His name is a killing word. It's time to ride the sandworm.
Have you guys ever? He's taken the water of life. Have you guys ever seen his video where he cooks a chicken in his kitchen? It's fantastic.
No,
it's just him and doing a recipe, but it's Walken making a roast chicken. It's ridiculous.
I could watch that man do anything. You know how people say I could listen to them read the dictionary? I could. I could, yes.
Hey!
But especially in Dune. I want to hear him saying everything in Dune.
I know. And Dune is getting all of the crazy, really, really good reviews. You know what I'm saying? Like Rotten Tomato, it's off the board. Normally you get the audience score is real high, or the critic score is really low, or vice versa, and they're both really high. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm due for a movie that just works.
Yeah.
I'm sick of these movies just like, oh, you were almost there, or oh, you were never even in the ballpark. Or if I'm being very generous, I had a good time. How about you just give me a really good movie? You know what I mean? They're so few and far between.
Yeah, Helene and I are gonna see that in the movie theater because I want to make sure I support an actual good effort at movie making.
I saw an interview with the guy that's playing Fade Ralpha and a bit of their combat choreography. Looked really good. I was impressed.
See, they should have had Christopher Walken do the entire movie as a one-man show.
A one-man play in
Fade, beautiful Fade.
Bring me my doctor.
I really think we just need to start cranking out a Muppet version of almost every great movie.
Yes,
mixed with a little bit of the Mystery Science Theater 3000, shtick.
Muppet Horror's Heresy. We need to make this happen as an episode.
That would be great.
Who do we pick?
Do you remember Liquid Television on
Yes.
MTV?
Yeah.
Do you remember they had that thing with Near and Far with the Muppet-like creatures, and they would shoot how you hunt, Muppets.
How you hunt Muppets?
Yeah. I would love to see that. Even if it's not the Muppets, but Muppet-like characters would be amazing. Yeah.
For all our younger fans, of which there's probably none, look that up. Liquid TV, Near and Far. Oh,
yeah, I'm sure we're number one with the young crowd. The 18 to 25 market, it just can't wait.
Yeah. The 12 to 18 demographic. It's our up and coming room, spot for growth.
We're the ugly old guys.
Break into the junior high market.
They're just waiting for the merch.
Yeah. You can get that from Armor Class 10. Don't dress like an NPC.
Packing them in at the latest Comic-Con.
Armor Class 10, place to shop.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see that. I think on a Monday, Mark, because that's when
Okay.
I'm off.
Excellent. Not who for Gilliman,
Hell.
For Gilliman, yeah. I can see that. Kermit could be Gilliman. He's officious enough.
That's well, Kermit would have to be the Emperor. Well, no, who would have Kermit be?
Yeah, I don't know. I literally the prompt was Muppet Warhammer 40K Emperor, and that is the best.
That one in the lower left. Holy cow!
And it went automatically for Kermit and did some horrible things.
It did, yes. Yes, it did.
I could see Sandy.
I would watch the hell out of this show. I'm telling you right now.
Hey, see if you can do a Miss Piggy, Sister of Silence.
Oh yeah, or Sister of Battle. Yeah.
No. Because if it's Heresy era, it would have to be Sister.
Oh yeah. Correct. You're right. Yep. Heresy era. Yep. It's gonna be terrible.
I still think Miss Piggy.
Take out the Emperor.
You got to take Emperor out of there.
Yeah.
Oh, did I have Emperor?
You're gonna make it. You're gonna make it blow itself.
All right. Well, we got to let it run. You can't cancel it in the middle.
This is gripping video.
For those of you who are watching along at home, I am using a program called Leonardo.ai, which is a web interface for doing image generation.
You have no responsibility.
Wow, I think you broke it.
No, it does. It takes 20 or 30 seconds once you click go, and it'll give us.
No, I think you found the singularity. I think you're
yeah.
trying to make
there we go.
Oh, you're a winner! Look at that.
What the hell is that? That bolter thing on there? What the hell is that?
Like a bolter on a hammer. That's awesome.
I'm telling you, I would watch the hell out of this show.
Oh my lord!
Don't tell me we don't bring the good content. Oh, that's awful.
Oh my god, that's so terrible.
That one's even worse.
That's disturbing. That's disturbing.
Make that go away, please.
Yeah.
Nipples.
Yeah, we're done. We're hiding it. We're done.
Well done, sir.
Oh my god.
But yes, walking as the Padishah Emperor is a stroke of genius.
It's going to be amazing. Yeah. You know, I want the 1st Battalion of Sardaukar.
Allegiance. Nothing will stand or survive. The spice must flow.
People have to think about that, though, right? When you cast Christopher Walken, you have to be thinking about that. right?
What's
I
that?
mean, you're not going to hide that it's Christopher Walken being
That he's going to say something crazy.
It becomes its own shtick,
Yeah.
right? At some and no offense to Christopher Walken, who I think is phenomenal in many movies, but I think in something like this, it would stand out a bit in a way that
No,
you
you
might not
know how
want.
it fits. You know how it fits is him. If you think of him playing Gabriel,
Yes.
you know, him going from Gabriel to the Emperor in Dune. I
Yeah.
can see that. I can see that. Yeah, I can absolutely see that. He is the Walken. He is, and
he's an
yeah,
iconic figure in filmmaking. It truly is an icon. He's like what's his name? Like an Anthony Hopkins type, or he just has that.
Anthony Hopkins. How dare you? That's a slap in the face to the Walken. No,
Oh no!
no.
Well, I'm saying that he's got a particular style that he brings to every character.
His style is awesomeness. That's what he brings to
I
it.
agree, but what I'm saying is that he carries it from character to character. It's just him.
It's like if you took a pouch full of glitter and you threw it on awesomeness.
Sparkle.
And then, right. That would be the Walken. That would be him.
You have no arguments from me. I'm just saying that there's other actors that have a similar sort of character that they bring to every role.
He is a mixture. He is a mixture of Brando and Olivier.
Yeah, I could see that.
With a wicked New York accent.
And a
I don't know. You know, I don't know what kind of accent you would actually call that. That is
unique.
It is unique. It is non-territorial. It is absolutely.
No, it's definitely New York. It's definitely New York.
No, that's Walken. I have never been walking around New York and thought, oh, this must be Christopher Walken's neighborhood. Everyone talks like him. There's no place in New York where everyone talks like Christopher Walken. That's something he did. That's like Cary Grant's accent. That's, you know, it's unique to him. That is it.
Just got notes of New York City in it.
Practiced that as a kid.
No, I don't care where he's from. I'm saying that's his accent. That is a Walken accent.
Oh.
That is it. Yes.
Oh.
So anyway, I was excited for that, and I'm excited to see the movie more than ever now. And not even the thought of having to see it with Dune fans in the theater can ruin that for me. I'm super excited about seeing it.
I thought I could identify his accent. He's from Queens. I thought he was. Yeah, Astoria.
No, you didn't. Never once did you say, "Oh, he's from Queens, New York." You said, "No, he's got a New York accent." Don't pretend.
Oh my God, that's where Tom Holland is from too.
Cross-examination.
Tom Holland actually does a pretty good New York accent for a Brit, I have to say, because he's got a heavy Brit accent. Yeah. So he doesn't do a bad job, I must say.
So anyway, those were the things that were on my mind this week, gentlemen.
All right. Well,
they were
good episode. Thanks, guys.
They were preying upon me, and I had to get them off my chest. I had to.
Well, I'm very happy to see looking at that combat choreography from Fade, that the Chris knives and so forth that they're using in the Doom movie, they seem to have really hit it out of the park with the designs. By
the way, anytime I hand a knife to someone now, even a butter knife, I do the
May your blade shatter. I'm cutting butter.
What the hell was that? Yeah, plastic knife in McDonald's. Everybody looking at you. Anyway, so all right. Well, anything for any of you guys or what?
I did send you guys a link to that video game I was talking about on Steam with the modern weapons in the medieval.
I pulled up the Steam page. Yeah, it looks pretty good.
It looks crazy.
I don't think it's out yet. It says it's a planned release date, so I'm not sure it's actually out.
Let me ask you this, Mark.
Yeah.
Do you think with unlimited ammo that you could have conquered the world with a 22 back in, say, 1000 BC?
With a 22?
A 22.
Yes, but I think it would be not just the firepower, it would be the political ramifications of that firepower, right? If you send somebody out and you're like, because let's be honest, any wound from a 22 with the medical care available in that time, they're not going to survive, even if it's not an outright killing blow.
Yeah.
So I don't think you line up against an opposing army with your little 22 and start cranking off shots. I think it's more you send your guy out there and you'd be like, yeah, you see that guy right there, bam, and he goes down, and you're like, I command the power of the gods, or where you're doing this kind of psyop thing, and I think you could get a lot further than you would with just the firepower, if that makes sense.
Which 22?
There's only one 22, and that is the Ruger 1022.
Okay, well that's what I didn't know. I didn't know what he's thinking.
I know. That is
survival rifles with like a compass 22. In the stock or something.
I think you get overwhelmed by strength of number. You just
the little one that takes down and fits in its stock so it floats. Yeah.
I had to treat a guy who got shot in the head with a 22 once. I just think with 20, he survived. So I think with strength of numbers, you'd eventually get overwhelmed.
That's why a 22 is not powerful enough to just be like guns blazing. I'm going to go win this thing.
Yeah,
especially with unlimited ammo. I mean, even with limited ammo, I still think Mark is right. If you can just demonstrate that power a few times, it's enough to start swaying the political landscape significantly.
I don't know. I think
that's
there's
how you have to go about it.
Barbarous mental case out there that would just him and 10 of his boys would charge you and rip you to pieces. So
they would try, man, but.
Yeah, they tried. Because the first group I ran into that are now my boys.
Unlimited ammo and perfect targeting, I guess.
Well, with unlimited ammo, you don't need perfect targeting.
Yeah, I'm just
we're talking a 22 Infinity pistol, basically.
That's right.
Kinda. Yeah.
Yeah.
Put her down.
Kinda.
Yeah. There's something we can talk about. That. The Borderlands trailer came out. Did you guys see it?
No. I saw the Borderlands trailer. I have some concerns.
I'm more optimistic about it.
Are you?
Amazingly.
Okay.
As an entertaining film, not necessarily as a good Borderlands film.
Okay.
But yeah, the full trailer is out, so it's something that you should check out, and we could have some opinions on it. So.
I will check that out the moment we get off of this. Yeah, I'll check that out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll check it out and I'll go back to sleep.
Okay. Yeah, right.
Get ready for your next mission to whatever year you're going to. Yeah. We'll hear about it next week, apparently.
Well, you know what? That would be better.
I got to go buy some 22 ammo. I'll be right back.
You bring it all back around. That would be better than the Halo barbecue. That story right there. You've already made it better than the Halo barbecue story.
Yeah. Yeah.
You would not catch Emperor Kermit at somebody's barbecue. I'm telling you.
My whole week now is me sitting there as I listen to Helena watching TV, and I hear something on there. I'm like, oh yeah, I should have Kelly there. So, all right. Well, thank you, boys. Thank you very much for this enlightening and enlivening.
Yes.
Our
arousing, engrossing.
Turgid. It's turgid conversation.
Yes. Sticky conversation. Thank you, boys, as always. And I will see you next time.
This concludes our Speak Nerd and Enter broadcast.